It was a sweltering August evening in 1985, with oppressive summer heat settling heavily over Texas, blurring the horizon's edges. High above Dallas-Fort Worth, a wide-body jet began its graceful descent, a common sight in the bustling metropolis. Inside the state-of-the-art cockpit, 3 experienced pilots were at the controls, their movements precise and practiced, guiding their massive aircraft. They guided their massive aircraft, carrying hundreds of lives, through what seemed a typical, passing summer storm, initially harmless. Hidden within that benign summer storm, an insidious danger lay in wait, unknown and not fully comprehended by aviation. This peril was so sudden, so violently overwhelming, the crew recognized the threat only when seconds remained for countermeasures. What unfolded in those agonizing moments tragically etched itself into aviation history, defining a transformative shift in safety understanding. The accident exposed an unquantified threat, a potent force of nature capable of overwhelming even advanced aircraft, challenging safety assumptions. This is not merely a crash tale, it's the harrowing, instructional story of Delta Flight 191, a pivotal moment. It centers on unsuspecting crew and passengers encountering unforeseen weather, their routine journey becoming a reckoning with invisible sky forces. Delta Airlines Flight 191 was a regularly scheduled commercial service from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, a straightforward journey. Its destination was Los Angeles, California, with an intermediate stop at bustling Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport, a major hub. Thousands of such flights occurred annually without incident, highlighting the routine nature of this journey. On August 2, 1985, 163 individuals, a mix of excitement and weary resignation, boarded the Lockheed L-1011 TriStar. This impressive wide-body jet was celebrated for its exceptional stability, formidable capabilities, and impeccable safety record. Flight 191's aircraft, N-726DA, served over a decade in demanding skies, meticulously maintained and rigorously inspected. The industry prided itself on robust upkeep, ensuring mechanical integrity was paramount for every takeoff and landing. The crew for this flight was exceptionally qualified and experienced, representing the pinnacle of professional aviation. Captain Edward Connors, a distinguished 57-year-old pilot, boasted over 29,000 flight hours, his unmatched expertise inspiring confidence. First Officer Ralph Randy Reese, 42, a competent pilot with 6,500 flight hours, assisted Captain Connors, managing aircraft systems. Flight Engineer Nicholas Nausick, 43, with 6,400 hours, monitored myriad aircraft systems, ensuring optimal performance. Their combined experience, nearly a century, represented a crew at their peak, skilled for any routine flight challenge. Their training prepared them for many contingencies, but some threats were simply beyond existing knowledge, lurking unseen. The flight commenced from Fort Lauderdale as planned, uneventfully cruising through clear morning skies without disruptions. Forecasts warned of typical summer thunderstorms developing in northern Texas, common patterns not usually cause for alarm. In 1980s aviation, these weather advisories were not deemed extraordinary or a significant cause for concern. The understanding of thunderstorms, while acknowledging dangers, didn't categorize all storms as equally catastrophic threats. Pilots believed careful navigation and standard procedures could effectively manage or circumnavigate most convective weather. Tragically unknown, lurking invisibly within a towering summer cloud, was a sinister, hidden atmospheric phenomenon, a powerful force. This force generated extreme, localized winds, profoundly violent and sudden, capable of overpowering even a modern jetliner. Through intense investigation, the world recognized this terrifying event as a microburst, a now infamous meteorological name. In 1985, microbursts were nascent in meteorology, largely absent from aviation training, an emerging scientific curiosity. Few pilots encountered a microburst's full devastating force during their careers, even fewer survived to share insights. This lack of first-hand experience meant a critical knowledge gap existed within the entire piloting community, a hidden vulnerability. The Delta Flight 191 crew, guiding towards Dallas, unknowingly faced the flight's most dangerous segment in final minutes. The threat wasn't mechanical or human error, it was the sky itself, turning against them in an unforeseen way. At 7:45 p.m., Flight 191 commenced its final approach to Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport, initiating descent. Air traffic control around Dallas was busy but manageable. Routine prevailed across radio frequencies for arrivals and departures. Airport radar screens displayed a persistent storm cell near runway 17L's approach path, a visible but not alarming presence. Crucially, aircraft ahead landed successfully without incident reports, creating a false sense of security, clearing Delta 191. Seasoned pilots routinely encountered localized weather nearby, not an immediate, overwhelming threat to flight operations. The assumption was easy navigation, like countless other summer storms encountered across the United States annually. Cockpit voice recordings reflected a calm, professional, focused crew, diligently executing pre-landing checklists and monitoring instruments. First Officer Reese actively monitored instruments, while Captain Connors manually guided the aircraft, a common division of labor. As their aircraft neared Dallas-Fort Worth, the sky ahead darkened, transforming into a more ominous canvas. Intermittent lightning flashes illuminated a growing, intensifying cloud formation, hinting at powerful electrical forces within. The active storm, displaying electrical discharge, moved slowly, suggesting no immediate or rapidly evolving threat. Other aircraft reported rain, but nothing genuinely dangerous or beyond routine handling, reinforcing a false calm. At 7:59 p.m., light turbulence gently shook the aircraft, the first subtle sign of developing trouble. The vigilant crew discussed the visible rain shaft ahead, anticipating reduced visibility, and activated windshield wipers as precaution. Despite developing conditions, the cockpit mood remained steady and professional, no alarm, only calm assessment. They perceived standard, inclement weather, having successfully navigated similar situations many times before, reinforcing their confidence. A critical, telling remark was captured on the cockpit voice recorder, later analyzed with painstaking detail by investigators. It captured the pilot's first explicit acknowledgement of lightning in close proximity, a subtle yet significant escalation. "Lightning coming out of that one," First Officer Reese calmly remarked, his voice betraying no immediate urgency. It was an innocuous observation. Thunderstorms often produce lightning without generating dangerous, invisible, brewing winds. This particular storm, with ordinary electrical discharges, fundamentally differed from anything the crew had encountered. Unbeknownst to them, a powerful, localized column of air rapidly descended with immense force, unleashing catastrophic consequences. This descending air column, an invisible fist, impacted Earth, violently spreading outward like water from a burst pipe. This radial air dispersion created a maelstrom of violent, unpredictable winds across Delta Flight 191's approach path. The flight crew, despite advanced instrumentation, had no visual means of perceiving this specific, localized atmospheric event. Their 1980s radar systems lacked wind shear detection. Tragically, no prior aircraft provided warnings, leaving them uninformed. At 8 p.m., below 1,500 feet, rain dramatically intensified, transitioning to a blinding deluge, reducing visibility. The crew, now largely reliant on instruments, intensified focus on runway guidance systems, navigating through the heavy rain. Suddenly, without warning, the aircraft encountered an incredibly powerful headwind, a forceful push from directly front. This unexpected frontal wind caused the TriStar to momentarily gain a surge of lift, increasing its indicated airspeed. The aircraft surged upward slightly, responding to the sudden aerodynamic boost provided by the strong, opposing air current. This initial, deceptive lift surge was the microburst's first phase, an intense headwind at the downdraft's leading edge. For crucial seconds, this sudden, powerful wind shift registered positively, giving a false sense of security. More lift, more power from the headwind, welcomed by pilots, could be interpreted as a helpful performance boost. However, the microburst's danger lies in this powerful headwind being a fleeting, temporary phenomenon, a cruel trick. It was a cruel trick, a momentary reprieve before the microburst's true terror unleashed itself in a devastating downdraft. Mere seconds after deceptive lift, the aircraft transitioned into the microburst's next, more dangerous phase, altering flight physics. At 8 o'clock and 37 seconds p.m., comm shattered. The TriStar plunged as an invisible, powerful air column violently hammered it from above. The cockpit's vertical speed indicator registered a rapid, alarming descent rate, indicating the aircraft was forcibly pushed. Captain Connors, with immense experience and quick reflexes, responded instantaneously, decisively to the life-threatening crisis. He instinctively pushed engines to maximum thrust, desperate to arrest descent and regain control, driven by training. His instincts screamed to climb, to escape the invisible hand pulling them down towards the unforgiving earth below. The problem wasn't pilot reaction or decision delay. It was rooted in physics, an unyielding, insurmountable issue. The TriStar's powerful engines, mounted behind wings, had an inherent spool-up delay, a known design characteristic. Transitioning engines from idle to maximum thrust took critical seconds, a known and unavoidable design characteristic. In a microburst, those precious seconds were the difference between survival and catastrophe. Time was against them. Despite Captain's forceful inputs, the aircraft's nose pitched upward, a desperate attempt to climb. However, the overwhelming force of the relentless downdraft proved stronger than the aircraft's engines or resistance. The TriStar was caught in an inescapable battle against an invisible, overwhelming force of nature. The TriStar engaged in a desperate, losing battle, fighting the downdraft and violently turbulent, rapidly shifting winds. These erratic winds systematically stripped the aircraft of vital lift, at a critical altitude, too low for easy recovery. "Push it up! Push it way up!" First Officer Reese urgently implored, his voice laced with raw, desperate urgency. It was a plea for more power, more climb, more anything to escape the invisible forces dragging them down. Captain Connors, a veteran pilot, exerted every ounce of skill, strength, and training, doing everything humanly possible. He pushed throttles to stop, pulled the control column back, coaxing maximum performance, but the microburst trapped them. They were inextricably trapped within its deadly embrace, an invisible cage of air, with no escape possible. The microburst's most lethal phase, the deadly tailwind, struck with terrifying swiftness, seconds after the downdraft. Moments prior, a powerful headwind deceptively boosted airspeed. Now, with devastating abruptness, wind direction reversed entirely. This catastrophic reversal slammed into the jet from behind, transforming a helpful headwind into a lethal tailwind. This sudden shift caused critical airspeed to bleed away with terrifying speed, pushing them closer to an aerodynamic stall. A plane can glide safely for distances, a testament to design. It can survive and recover from severe turbulence. But a plane cannot fly without sufficient airspeed, its controlled flight's bedrock, and it was rapidly vanishing. The cockpit alarms, designed for critical failures, blared with insistent, terrifying urgency, adding sonic chaos. These were warnings for dire, life-threatening conditions, indicating the aircraft was in severe peril, facing catastrophe. "Watch your speed," Flight engineer Nicholas Nosik urgently warned, his voice straining against alarms and storm sounds. It was a desperate reminder to the pilots of the most critical parameter, the rapidly dwindling airspeed. "Kent, we're losing it." First Officer Reese responded, his voice raw with the chilling realization of their predicament. Despite efforts, the aircraft inexorably lost its ability to fly, fighting an invisible, unwinnable battle against nature. The TriStar was plunging earthward uncontrollably, exceeding 1,000 feet per minute, with less than 500 feet remaining. Even with maximum throttle, the downdraft and tailwind physics proved insurmountable, condemning the aircraft, a tragic fate. At 8:01 p.m., the inevitable occurred. The descending aircraft clipped a car on Highway 114. This unimaginable secondary tragedy instantly claimed the driver's life, a grim prelude confirming the aircraft's uncontrolled trajectory. Seconds after the first impact, Delta Flight 191 slammed into the ground nose first, breaking apart. Wreckage scattered over a vast area. The left wing tank ruptured violently, igniting a massive fireball. 137 lives were extinguished from 163 on board. Only 27 individuals miraculously survived the inferno and impact. One innocent man on the ground also lost his life. The entire sequence, from encounter to impact, unfolded in less than 10 agonizing seconds. In the grim aftermath, dedicated NTSB investigators converged, meticulously studying every second to uncover truth. No wreckage piece, data point, or recording was deemed insignificant in their painstaking quest for understanding and safety. Investigators painstakingly analyzed wreckage, listened to chilling cockpit voice recordings, pored over flight data, and examined weather. They scrutinized radar returns, leaving no stone unturned to piece together the mosaic of events leading to the sudden loss. NTSB conclusively determined the Delta 191 crash caused severe wind shear from an extraordinarily powerful microburst. This critical finding brought a poorly understood meteorological phenomenon to the forefront of operational aviation. Pilots received rudimentary wind shear training, but real-time detection technology for violent shifts was absent on board aircraft. Many airports, including Dallas-Fort Worth, lacked sophisticated ground-based wind shear detection, creating a critical blind spot. Delta Flight 191 tragically encountered the microburst's core, the most lethal place for any aircraft, a direct hit. This situation, a profound safety vulnerability, was beyond the capabilities of even the era's most experienced crew and advanced aircraft. A central NTSB question: did Delta 191's highly qualified crew make critical mistakes in the tragedy? Meticulous examination revealed pilots were experienced, competent, professional, even in their final desperate seconds. The investigation highlighted critical human factors, limitations inherent to the era's understanding and technology. These factors contributed to the tragic outcome, painting a complex picture of systemic vulnerabilities, not individual culpability. A significant factor was the crew's unwitting underestimation of the thunderstorm's true severity and danger. Pilots believed the storm was weakening or manageable, but 1980s radar lacked insight into its rapidly changing internal dynamics. The crew followed other aircraft through similar weather. Previous safe landings reinforced a false sense of security. This ignored that microbursts form, intensify, and dissipate violently in seconds, making prior experiences irrelevant. A pervasive limitation in microburst awareness and training existed. Curricula didn't convey lethality or characteristics. Pilots weren't taught to treat verga or rain shafts with extreme caution, a stark contrast to today's standard practice. These were not individual failures but systemic limitations rooted in the era's collective knowledge and technology. The crew operated within understood confines, tragically insufficient against this unforeseen, powerful force. Beyond human factors, investigation delved into aircraft performance limitations, even for the advanced L-1011 TriStar. Fundamental physical constraints proved critical in the microburst encounter, despite its advanced design and respected status. Foremost was the engine's inherent characteristic: several seconds to transition from idle to full thrust, a design reality. This spool-up delay became a critical vulnerability when immediate, maximum power was required to combat microburst forces. The aircraft's critically low altitude during the microburst encounter left virtually no margin for error or recovery. Delta 191 was already too close to the ground, trapping it in an impossible situation, unlike modern aircraft at higher altitudes. The microburst's violent wind shifts exceeded the aircraft's aerodynamic capability to cope and maintain controlled flight. Even with full power, the TriStar couldn't generate lift or airspeed against overwhelming forces. Physics became an unyielding adversary. The microburst's three phases, headwind, downdraft, tailwind, hit rapidly. The TriStar was effectively trapped. Caught in an aerodynamic vice, speed bleeding, lift stolen, an invisible hand pushed it relentlessly earthward, helpless. The accident tragically exposed significant systemic gaps extending beyond the cockpit, industry-wide shortcomings requiring attention. These shortcomings revealed a problem far larger than one flight, demanding comprehensive attention to prevent future recurrences. Airport wind shear detection systems in place were rudimentary, providing limited real-time data on localized wind. This left a critical void in ground-based safety infrastructure, particularly over approach and departure paths. Onboard predictive wind shear radar technology, crucial for warning pilots before danger, simply did not exist. Pilots flew blind into unseen threats, without advance warning, placing them at a severe disadvantage against the microburst. 1980s weather forecasting, though advancing, didn't sufficiently predict or recognize microburst activity with precision. Science was catching up to this severe atmospheric phenomenon, leading to a critical gap in meteorological support. Air traffic control lacked tools and real-time information to effectively warn flight crews of localized wind shear threats. Controllers relied on pilot reports or older systems, often too late or generalized for actionable warnings in danger. Delta Flight 191 was not a singular mechanical failure or human error, but a tragic confluence of multiple factors. Human perception limitations, technological gaps, and atmospheric forces combined in a systemic tragedy of unforeseen power. The devastating Delta 191 tragedy, a painful chapter, profoundly reshaped aviation safety, a stark, unforgettable lesson. It propelled sweeping, transformative changes across the global industry, fundamentally altering how we approach safety in the skies. A significant lesson was the urgent need for enhanced technology. Airlines adopted onboard predictive wind shear radar systems. These advanced systems detected microburst signatures, alerting pilots with crucial time for evasive action before danger. This groundbreaking technology, developed post-Delta 191, saved countless lives, transforming invisible threats into visible warnings. It empowered pilots with knowledge to avoid catastrophic encounters, becoming a cornerstone of modern flight safety globally. Airports globally installed advanced ground-based wind shear detection systems, including LLWAS and TDWR, a vital safety process. These sophisticated systems continuously scan approach and departure paths for sudden, dangerous wind changes, ensuring vigilance. LWAS and TDWR provide real-time warnings to controllers, rapidly communicating critical wind shear information to flight crews. This layered approach, airborne and ground-based detection, significantly enhanced safety margins during critical flight phases. Delta 191's enduring legacy was the complete overhaul of pilot training standards, impacting global aviation. Microburst awareness became mandatory, transforming from an obscure concept into a core component of flight safety education. Updated training taught flight crews life-saving protocols, meticulously learning never to penetrate range shafts or verga. This was a critical shift. Previously, pilots might have believed these conditions were navigable with standard procedures. Pilots rigorously trained for immediate go-around at the slightest wind shear sign, without hesitation or second-guessing. The new mantra, if in doubt, go around. This emphasized a proactive, conservative approach, prioritizing safety above all. Training instilled understanding that routine-looking storms conceal catastrophic and visible forces within their benign facade. This challenged old assumptions, teaching pilots to view all convective weather with profound respect, not underestimating its potential. It drove home the critical lesson: visual observation alone is unreliable for assessing convective weather's true danger. Eyes cannot see invisible air currents. Reliance on instruments and new technologies is now absolutely necessary for flight safety. Beyond technology and training, meteorology evolved rapidly post-Delta 191, profoundly changing understanding of microbursts. Microbursts, once poorly understood, are now meticulously recognized, extensively studied, and predicted with greater accuracy. Forecasters, with new research and tools, learn to interpret radar signatures, storm shapes, and atmospheric instability. This enhanced understanding provides crucial early warnings, giving pilots and controllers more time for critical safety decisions. More than technology, Delta 191 catalyzed a profound cultural shift in aviation safety, a transformation of attitude. This deep-seated realization demanded new vigilance and caution when dealing with adverse weather, especially thunderstorms. Powerful storms, once manageable obstacles, are now treated with unwavering, deep-seated respect by pilots. This paradigm shift means pilots now divert, delay, or reroute to avoid convective weather, prioritizing safety above all else. This pervasive culture shift, from confrontation to respect and avoidance, is a profound safety improvement in aviation history. It's a testament to an industry's willingness to learn from tragedy, adapting its philosophy for the greater good. Delta Flight 191 is remembered for its profound human tragedy and the sweeping, transformative changes it inspired. Its legacy is etched into every safety protocol now observed, a testament to its lasting, global impact on aviation. At its heart, it's a poignant story of a highly skilled crew fighting with courage against a barely understood force of nature. Overwhelmingly powerful, instantaneous weather meant even a perfectly functioning, state-of-the-art aircraft couldn't withstand its onslaught. A heartbreaking story of innocent passengers trusting flight, crew competence, and sky safety irrevocably altered. Their lives, and loved ones' lives, tragically altered in agonizing seconds, leaving an indelible mark of loss forever. Most importantly, it's an inspiring story of the aviation industry transforming itself, faced with profound vulnerability. It learned, adapted, and refined practices, committing to enhanced safety, refusing to allow such tragedy to repeat. Today, pilots worldwide operate aircraft with an arsenal of tools, advanced training, and knowledge, born from 1985. Every flight is inherently safer because of lessons painfully extracted from the Delta 191 disaster, a lasting impact. Modern aircraft detect previously invisible dangers, providing crucial forewarning to pilots through sophisticated systems. Airports now boast advanced monitoring capabilities, constantly scanning winds beneath thunderstorms, providing vital real-time data. Meteorologists, engineers, and regulators reshaped understanding of the atmosphere and its threats, a collective effort. This collaboration led to unparalleled preparedness and safety, making air travel demonstrably safer, a direct consequence. Behind every improvement, protocol, and life saved remains the solemn truth: the precious lives lost in August 1985. Their memory is enshrined in memorials and perpetuated through the ongoing, daily commitment to safety that now governs skies. Their enduring legacy is woven into the fabric of safety, protecting millions who fly daily, beyond plaques and markers. Modern travelers are shielded, often unknowingly, by profound, hard-won lessons learned from Delta Flight 191's tragic fate. The sky, with its vastness and unpredictability, will always retain profound mysteries, whether invariably surprises and challenges. It overwhelms human understanding and technology on rare occasions, a force commanding eternal respect and vigilance. Because of that tumultuous night in Dallas, aviation moves forward better prepared, more vigilant against unseen threats. The industry's evolution is a testament to resilience and relentless self-improvement, continually striving for greater safety. The Delta 191 story is a powerful reminder: deeper than mechanics or meteorology, true progress needs immense courage. Courage manifests across generations, pushing boundaries of possibility in aviation safety, a testament to human spirit. The courage of skilled pilots and cabin crews bravely flying today, navigating complex skies with unparalleled safety standards. Most importantly, the profound courage of those whose tragic stories guide and instruct us, ensuring sacrifices were not in vain. This is the indelible legacy of Delta Flight 191, aircraft, crew, and passengers encountering terrifying, unforeseen weather. The tragedy paved the way for a safer future for all who venture into the skies, a testament to enduring progress.